Coaches, Thomas here from MyCoach AI, and in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about client compliance. It's something that, unfortunately, a lot of coaches are struggling with. And if you are struggling with certain clients with their compliance, that's totally normal. There can be a lot of reasons for it. It can have to do with their motivation level. It can have to do with how clearly you are laying out the next steps for them. It can have to do with a lot of different things. But something that's often overlooked is how easy are you making their systems? How easy are you making it for them to complete all of their different tasks? Something easily overlooked, right? If your client is not always doing their check-ins on time, if they're just not always tracking their macros the way they should be or following their meal plan, if they're missing workouts or skipping sets, yes, it can have to do with all of the things mentioned above, but it can also have to do with the fact that they have to hop between different apps. This can really hurt compliance. If they need to track in one place, and track their nutrition and workouts in different places, then view their content in another, then message you over another. And just having so many different things at play can really hurt compliance over time. So in this video, I want to focus a little bit on how we solve that with MyCoach AI, because that's really why we built this platform, right? Having everything under one roof. And I could spend 2 hours talking to you about why that is useful for you as a coach and how it will just make your life easier and your coaching more efficient. But today I really want to focus on how it can help with client compliance. And that is because we do everything in one place. And here's some of the main lines of it. Now, of course, it all starts off with something like programs, right? Now, it is imperative that if you have used a coaching software before and your clients have been on that coaching software, that yes, the workouts happen in there. And of course, we get you covered with MyCoach AI there as well. And then, of course, it unlocks a whole world for them of things like tracking their reps and their sets and their weights, adding in videos and comments and seeing their progress over time. And all of that comes with it, of course. But programs are a lot more than that inside of MyCoach AI. So besides just you being able to lay out your splits for your clients and the workouts that they're going to be doing and the tracking of that, you can add a lot more to programs so that they can do all of that directly on there as well. And I mean, for example, things like content flows, right? So rather than you sending out Google Drives or emails with content or whatever it may be, sending those things out, you can just keep those directly on the programs within MyCoach AI, so they do it all within the same apps. So rather than a Google Drive with different nutritional educational videos, you can use the videos feature inside of MyCoach AI to add nutritional information, have it directly put out to their schedules as little to-do things to complete day by day. Really cool to keep it into one place. Now, it can also be things like progress metrics. So that is any type of tracking, right? If your client needs to track their steps, their weights, other activities, whatever it may be, not only can the client integrate that on their end, so yes, if they have an Apple Watch or any type of thing that connects through Apple Health, they can add that in and automatically track things like steps, resting heart rate, other activities, and they can even manually add in different activities that they're doing. So you don't want to have that outside in a different place than where they complete their workouts. You want to have it in the same app. We do that with MyCoach AI. But besides them being able to integrate those things and add them themselves, you can also ask them to track anything directly by adding it on their schedules or, of course, programs. If you need them to really track anything at all, and there's a whole different video on metrics that we'll show you another day, but take like sleep, for example, you can absolutely have them just add that in directly as a task to complete on their schedule too, combined with content, workouts, everything like that. Even things like forms. So take like feedback forms. Instead of sending out a type form, right, or whatever type of form it may be, over WhatsApp and then change people around to complete it, you can just have forms directly prompt within your programs as soon as clients reach it, and it's fully mandatory for them to fill out. So it is going to be happening. Again, improving compliance. Even things like smart actions. So these are really cool as well. We've had so many coaches that send out certain newsletters or announcements, or maybe they sent out motivational messages through email once people reach certain days of the program. Sure, those are ways to do it, but if you really want clients to read it and to interact with it, you may use smart actions directly through MyCoach AI. And it can, for example, be used to send auto messages. So those email announcements that I just mentioned that need to be linked to program days, you can simply set them up as auto messages. They not only happen automatically, but you increase the chances that clients actually interact with it. Same with requesting payments, right? So instead of sending out manual invoices and now chasing people around to actually go complete payment, checking your different systems on what payment has been completed and which one has not, you can simply request payments and manage payments directly on the platform, even having people subscribe as soon as they come into the system. And you will even find under Smart Actions here the Add or Remove Content Group button, which is a really cool way to drip out course material. So yes, if you have full-on nutrition courses, don't go onto school.com and don't use, the Kajabi and the Thinkific and all these type of things. Just use MyCoach Ai, because you can make full content groups, say like Nutrition 101, add that in as automations directly onto your program and prompt them for your clients. They'll have full content sections to access all of this content. And again, they're going to be much more likely to watch it because it's in the same place in which they have their workouts, content, payment, and everything else. So programs, first of all, is already including pretty much anything your client needs. Everything else that you can imagine pretty much happens in MyCoach Ai as well, right? Messaging, of course, super, super important. Don't use WhatsApp. Don't use a lot of other messaging platforms and even group messaging platforms like Facebook groups, school.com, whatever it may be. You can just use MyCoach Ai. Not only can you have all of your conversations directly with clients one-on-one in here, making you more efficient because you have leverage to all of these resources, but also your clients are just not going to miss it. It's the same place as they do their workouts, they do their nutrition and everything else. So they won't miss a message from you. Also, they have the ability to directly receive feedback and input and even auto messages based on their program, their items, and everything that I showed you for on their programs. Makes your life a lot easier, makes them a lot more compliant, having it into one place. And yes, if you use Facebook groups, if you use these type of community platforms, we absolutely have group messaging available as well. And you're not limited in terms of like voice messages, photo, video. We have all of it covered. So don't worry about that either. Now, I already mentioned it briefly, but of course, nutrition. Huge part of coaching. And this is probably the biggest thing that for a lot of different platforms, if you're using them, you still have to outsource by connecting to something like MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, whatever it may be. And a lot of coaches do so. And maybe for you as a coach, it's even fine because it's integrated. For clients, let me tell you, it's a big deal. Having to bounce between one app for their nutrition tracking, and then even if you have everything else into one app, it's still two things that they hop between, not on a daily basis, but multiple times per day that they have to do that. And it does get annoying for clients and it does hurt their compliance. So in MyCoach Ai, whether you work with meal plans or macro tracking, we do it all within the same platform. So yes, your client can track their macros directly in their app. And it means having access to the whole food database, even scanners like barcode scanners, nutrition labels, all of that included. And yes, you can build and use your meal plans inside of MyCoach Ai as well. We even have auto meal plans. We just posted a video on that too. I could spend hours and hours talking about that. But there you go. Nutrition also included in the same system. Now, other tools that you may be using as well as a coach, right? Maybe you do certain calls. And yes, we cannot host a group Zoom call for you directly in our system. We don't have like a streaming functionality, but even things like that, we make sure that you don't have to use a bunch of other calendar integrations and announcements for that to get people on a Zoom call. No, super easy. We have the go live button where you just input your Zoom ID and password once, you tag certain clients, you send out an invite, and that way people join directly through the system. That too even just goes into the same place, just like everything else. Okay. Now, that's pretty much all you need to know for now in terms of what can clients do on MyCoach Ai, because that's pretty much everything covered that should be under your coaching. We go from messaging to nutrition to workouts to all of their tracking, including integrated wearables and even things like educational material, right? So you can get rid of your Kajabi and Thinkific. You can get rid of school.com. You can get rid of Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook groups, and all these different type of platforms. Super importantly, you can get rid of MyFitnessPal, Chronometer. You can get rid of feedback forms through Typeform, and you can get rid of Google Drive for your content. All of these different things we have covered directly in the system. It is going to make your clients more compliant. It's going to make you more efficient. Pretty much just make everyone's life better, right? All right, that is pretty much it for today. See you in the next video. If you want to see more MyCoach Ai, go check out the link in the description to go to our website. You can watch a full demo, sign up for a trial today. See you in the next one.